How is AI and automation transforming and impacting marketing? I had an insightful conversation with Tine Skovgaard from NoZebra, where we delved into the rapid advancements that AI and automation is bringing to this business area. The pace of change is astonishing, and to quote Tine herself, you have to get going. I hope that you will join this conversation as much as I did. Tine Skovgaard, AI lead at NoZebra. Thank you so much for taking this talk.
Thank you.
Or should I dare to call you the AI lady of Denmark?
I wish.
But you're actually newly appointed AI lead here
I
at
am,
NoZebra,
yes.
right?
Yeah, going on 3 months now.
3 months?
Yeah.
Congratulations, first of all. But secondly, I'm also thinking about what has actually made the management team of NoZebra take this investment in actually hiring you.
Well, I think it's important to say that we were already well underway with working with AI. It's not an entirely new concept in NoZebra, but I think the management saw the need to centralize and structure the AI efforts in NoZebra. And I think that's a tendency we're going to see across the board in other companies in Denmark and Norway and Sweden. So you're guaranteed to stay ahead of the curve when you have a person or a team where it's their singular focus to develop and build on AI and really create value for your money.
Right. So back in the old days, in early 2000s, when we started to actually see IT development, that was also created in various departments and whatever, and there was like no coherent strategy.
No.
That's the same thing we already see now in AI, because we've learned so much from the past 20 years. We already know it's a technology that we need to actually have harnessed and focused within the businesses.
Yeah, and especially agencies like us are often front runners. Right. So we're the first to sort of break that wall down, and we'll see that implemented across the board in other companies going forward.
I think you're right, actually. So as an AI lead, if you should give your 30,000-foot overview of AI, first and foremost, do you see this as a fluke, or is this just some ChatGPT hype, or is this something that the management team should take seriously?
It's absolutely not hype. And it's just growing so fast. And as a business, as a company, you need to get on the boat sooner rather than later, because it will affect every business, every job, every employee at some point. So no, it's not hype. And it can do so much for us. And we just need to open up to all the possibilities that it has.
So everyone is saying this seen from a technology point of view, but I think there's a lot of business owners and management teams that really don't know from a non-technological point of view what this actually does, but seen from more a use case point of view, what can this actually do in their business when they're looking into their sales departments, their marketing departments, production. Do you have any concrete things that you're looking into, perhaps in NoZebra with your customers, that you could look to?
We do. And it feels like it's almost the Wild West within AI and software and tools and tech stacks. And there's so many choices that you can make. So which one should you choose? So that's a big part of what we do, or I do here in NoZebra, is actually recommending tools and creating a solid strategy for the businesses or our clients or companies. So it's really about creating a strategy and creating value for money and really using the tools that you buy into. So that's sort of our main focus. And especially in marketing departments, we're looking into a lot of automation.
Yeah.
And automation is going to be the buzzword in every department, but especially us in marketing, where we can actually automize what a marketing department does. So if, for example, we have a piece of software called the AI Content Hub, which we're continuously developing on, and it will create content for you. Let's say we start with a landing page. I want a landing page created from these keywords, and it creates the landing page. But I'm not done yet. I also want this great content to live on other channels. So that it could be LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, whatever. It could be a newsletter. So all that we can automate. So you just activate a flow, and you'll get a very good input written by AI. And then you have all these versions, and then we can also go and translate these versions. So if you want to, let's say, I want to come into the Swedish market, but I don't have any Swedes hired or employed, So we can also go in and translate that all with just a click of a button, and you get it 2 seconds after you've activated the flow.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff where you have one marketeer being able to create a whole lot of content very, very easy and very, very fast.
So actually sitting right with its to it as you do with ChatGPT, but actually what it does is actually creates your web page.
And we also use ChatGPT in the motor room for that,
Right.
but it can also be Claude, it could be Copilot, you name it,
Yep.
we can build it in.
Yes.
So yeah, a lot of great opportunities, especially for marketeers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if we then dive back to the overview a little bit, if you just could see it from your chair, a lot of people are talking about AI, but what is AI?
Yeah, it's not as as easy to define as you might think. No, a very grossly simplified answer to that is it's basically a software assistant, a computer that can do things that normally would require human intelligence. And that definition is going to change. A few years back, we didn't think AI could be creative. Well, you look at it now, it can create concept art and all kinds of beautiful stuff. Of course, on images and data, it's already been trained on, but it's creative.
And I guess that's a big change also. Suddenly it's beginning to be creative, and us humans were saying that, well, that's just us, right? But now we're starting to see actually being creative.
Yeah. And I think as we go along, that definition that I started with will change. AI will become more like a partner or an assistant in our day-to-day lives, and at home, but also in the workplace, of course. So it will change. It will become an even deeper integrated part of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. So with that, where do you see then the risks in all of this? There are always the flip side to the coin, and right now we're sitting here talking about the positives and
And I am very biased. I love AI, I love tech, and I am very tech positive, and I think it could do a lot of good. But of course, there are risks. There's the whole job displacement. That's a subject that's being heavily discussed right now. I read an article by the BBC. They estimate that before 2030, about 20 million production jobs alone will be lost to AI and robotics. And that's just production jobs. But what about the medical secretary taking dictation? What about bus drivers? What about taxi drivers, content creators, data analysts? All these job functions. Because what we see is if it can be automated, it will be automated at some point. So what about them? So we have a big task ahead of us as a society to create some sort of safety net for these people. Because, and I know there's different accounts on this, but some say, oh, we've had the Industrial Revolution before, and we had big tech jumps, and we're fine. We created new jobs, and yes, we did, but we haven't experienced this before. AI is going to change everything. That's my belief. Yeah. So we need to prepare and create a safety net for these people. And some say it must take the form of a universal basic income, for example, where everyone gets paid some kind of salary. And then we can expand on that depending on what you do with your life besides that. So that's one theory. Way out there, yes.
Yeah. And where are we? In 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What's your prediction? What are you thinking?
Well, as I said before, it's going to be an even bigger part of our lives. So we will have these AI assistants that we carry with us that help us. It will be deeply integrated and deeply personalized. It will understand us in ways that we are not prepared for right now. It will help us in everything we do. And then, of course, there's automation, which I've said a couple of times now. Well, everything that can be automated will be automated. It's easier, it's cheaper, it's a good business case.
Yeah. I think one thing, and I was talking again more or less from I wouldn't say a technology point of view, but I feel when we're talking to our customers, one thing is the technology, one thing is the gap. If you're looking into the businesses where they are at in terms of being able to absorb this technology and really understand it and being able to embrace it. Yeah. Is that something that you could talk about, something that you see, and perhaps also talk a little bit about what you think that management teams should do out there to start being able to mature, to get on this journey?
Well, of course, you risk dividing people and companies alike into the haves and have-nots. So you have the people that are ahead of the curve, that hire people like me and are innately curious about tech and AI, and they will just have a different advantage than the people or companies who do not look into this.
Yeah.
So there will be a divide until the other companies, because everyone will be affected, everyone will use it at some point, but the ones who get going faster, they're going to be the ones with the advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way I also look at it is, if we have learned from what we've done the last 25 years within what I'm starting to call standard software development, and then we have AI, it's going so fast seen from a technology point of view, but also those companies that really can absorb this into their processes and business are going to be so far ahead, so fast, that their competitive edge is going to be disruptive from the other companies that were just normal competitors 2 or 3 years ago. Suddenly they've taken a giant leap, seen from either a cost or product quality and optimization point of view, that if you don't get on this boat, then in 5 years, suddenly as a company, you're looking to the right and to the left, and you're left behind. As I see it.
Yeah.
And it's going much faster than traditional IT development.
It is.
So if we're looking at what we've done and accomplished the last 25 years, it's not going to be 25 years, as I see it. So you need, as companies, to speed up actually your maturity and focus on getting some of this into your company.
Exactly right, because we are not prepared for this.
No.
It's going to go as you said, it's going to go so much faster than what we've been used to. But I think the most important thing is that you need a management team to really make the decision, this is what we're going for. And they need buy-in, show the employees that, okay, this is going to be a focus of ours. Or you won't succeed if you don't have a plan. And they need to initialize the plan, the strategy. What is it we want out of AI, the tech? You don't need to just buy 200 users for Copilot and then you have an AI strategy. It doesn't work like that, because you will always have some resistance internally to. That's just how we're hardwired as people. But you have some innate resistance for new technology, and it's easier to do what we've always done.
Yes.
So you really need buy-in from the management team. You need these group of internal AI ambassadors or champions, or not a team necessarily that can do everything, but a team who's curious, who's positive, who wants to learn more, and who wants to spearhead the change internally, or else you won't succeed.
So basically what we've said the last 20 years that the management teams and IT departments needed to have in terms of handling their traditional software development is now being put on steroids.
Yeah.
So the plan needs to be there. They need to have a coherent strategy. They cannot go into 5 different departments and do their own AI development if they want to succeed. So it's basically what they've trained on and matured on for the last 20 years that really needs to come to fruition now in terms of how they're utilizing this if they want to be on the boat.
Yeah, there needs to be a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you working with this in NoZebra?
Yes, well, as I said before, I love tech, and I spend a large amount of time looking into things and testing things and programs and software and new solutions. But when I talk to companies, and I've talked to a lot of companies, they're not there yet. They've only just, I think, 9 out of 10 have only just, began using ChatGPT in companies. So it may feel like the boat is sailing and the train is driving down the tracks, but most companies have just, barely getting started. Yeah. So I need to meet the customers where they are, or their potential clients where they are. So I can't just go and talk about these big, crazy solutions where we implement it all over the place. We need to start small, because that's where they are.
Yeah.
So it's about creating interest, creating a strategy, a plan, and really looking into what kind of solutions fit this company. So that's where we start. It's actually very small, and start with a pilot project of some sort. And more often than not, that pilot project should actually start in marketing, because they have often as marketeers, innate curiosity about things, and we can do a lot content-wise with the AIs we have right now. So that's a good place to start.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you had one advice to businesses and management teams regarding all this, what should that be?
Yeah, get going. Get going, 100%, and create a plan. You don't need necessarily a mega budget or, it does really have structured data, and that helps, of course, but it's not that hard to get going, and you don't need the entire setup right away. You need to start small, creating some success cases and creating some good experiences within your employees and really hyping them up. And then you take it from there.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Tine, thank you so much for having this
You're
conversation
welcome.
with me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Thank you.